Panzer Dragoon is a game that is synonymous with the Sega Saturn, and that is one of those few titles that everyone wants to own in the console. Well, if we're being honest, that's more the case with Panzer Dragoon Saga, the 500 one. But even so, the version of Panzer Dragoon that I grew up with was not the Sega Saturn one, however, but rather the PC version. I distinctly remember when and where I got it, and it was a game that I put hours into. It's a game that reminds me of my childhood. If you've seen my recentest videos, you'll know that I'm feeling nostalgic. So when the remake was announced, I just knew I had to get it. And since I haven't done anything in 2 years, here's my review of, well, Panzer Dragoon Remake. So, Panzer Dragoon Remake, whoever thought that this would happen? It's one of those Sega franchises from the mid 90s that you'd think would never get any new installments. You know, like Virtual Cop, Tapping of the Dead, a game that never goes on sale on Steam, believe me, and the like. Panzer Dragoon was a game that was impressive for its time, but that has visibly aged in some aspects. An on-rail shooter, much like the Eggman and Deus Ex's in Sonic Adventure 2, you have a lock-on feature. If you move your cursor through an enemy, it gets locked on, and if you move your cursor through the screen fast enough, you sync them together in a mirage of moves that are sure to dazzle. There is plenty to talk about with Panzer Dragoon, from the fact that they created a whole language for the fictional world, something that sets my linguistics brain dinging, to the fact it takes place thousands of years after a thriving civilization met its doom. The story matters a little, however. All you need to know is that you control a dragon whose rider just died, and you're escaping Imperial forces. Why are the evil guys always called the Empire anyway? Star Wars, Aragon. The main thing that distinguishes Pendragon from other on-rail shooters is the fact that you have 360-degree control over the camera. Now, this does not mean you can freely roam. You're on rails after all, but it does mean you can see enemies behind you or that are to the sides. A feature you'll need to use to get through the game. Unfortunately, this is when one of my main complaints with the game comes along. When the camera is set to side view or back view, it is almost impossible to escape a projectile thrown your way. You just can't do it. Watch this. Graphically, of course, the remake is stunning in every way and really does make the world come alive. I mean, the original was great for its time, but just compare how some levels look. Compare this to this. Some might call the graphical style a bit too simple, but Dragoon has always been inspired by the surrealist French comic artists, and I think that the bright yellows of the sun popping up or the water reflecting in the pretty wool, as if saying that after the fall of civilization, nature takes over, are great. The world has never looked this good, and the wall times in between sections of the level are completely eliminated, making way for a seamless experience. Unfortunately, in the Switch version at least, load times in between stages are long enough to be noticed, and you'd have time to maybe use the bathroom in between levels, but that's something that can't be helped. In terms of music, Dragoon has always had an amazing soundtrack that great to inside, and this remake does something I wish more remakes made. It has an option for the original soundtrack. The new version of the music sounds cleaner in a way, but I've been playing with the original soundtrack, which, as I already said, is excellent. There are few sounds as satisfying as the sound of a shot walking on and hitting the enemy. Listen. It's only rivaled by the sonic spin dash rap sound and a spell powering up in the PSX Harry Potter games. Panzer Dragoon is a game that never quite feels cheap, even as it is nearly impossible to avoid getting hit sometimes when on side view. This is due to the fact that your limited control of the dragon, you can put Sensei's height as well as swinging this from side to side, allows you to avoid most everything. It honestly feels great to maneuver around, dodging bullets or what have you. It has never been a game that will last you hours. Panzer Dragoon has always been a game that can be completed in about an hour. And for some, the price tag for a game that short might be a tad high, but it's a game that they can repeat over and over again. And take it from someone who got a limited edition physical copy for over $50 while with shipping. It's worth a purchase. Now, all it needs is for them to make a new game in the Straits of Rage for what? What? How's that for a dragon? Really? Panzer Dragoon remake was great, but I think it's about time we start talking about another dragon that has shaped my childhood. You know the one.